Hello, viewers and listeners. Welcome to Simply Moms podcast. On this podcast, we empower women, mothers, parents, carers, or guardians of children, mostly in the UK. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching. We love you so much. And if it's your first time, my name is Leah. I am the host of Simply Moms podcast. We talk about different topics. So this is the podcast you don't really want to miss because we have juicy topics all the time. Today, we're going to delve into a topic that is quite emotional: mental health in the workplace. So different parents go to different workplaces, and this mental health is a big thing in the UK. It's just going on. So today we'll be exploring the mental health of parents in the UK, discussing how the workplace impacts their well-being and challenges they face, from work-life balance to mental health struggles, and then we'll provide real solutions and try to make it a bit more supportive for parents. We'll give advice as we go along. So whether you're a mom or a dad or someone in the workplace supporting a parent, this episode is for you. So let's dive in. So the reality of parenting and mental health in the UK workplace. Nearly 1 in 4 adults experience a mental health issue every year. For parents, this struggle can feel magnified, especially when trying to balance work and home life and everything in between. Mental health challenges like anxiety, depression, and burnout are very common in the UK. And when you're trying to manage both work life, family life, sometimes all this can feel overwhelming. But how exactly does parenting affect mental health in the workplace, and what can we do about it? So what are the biggest mental health challenges faced by parents in the UK today? The first thing is work-life balance. Most parents, according to the report by Mind 2021, 1 in 3 parents in the UK report struggling to manage work and family commitments, leading to chronic stress, fatigue, and burnout. So work-life balance is really important. Then there is parental guilt. Oh my goodness. Have you had that thing of mom guilt, dad guilt, whereby you feel like you're not like you worry that you're not giving enough to your children, or you're not giving enough time to your children, whether you're a mom or a dad? And then when you go to work, then you feel like you're not giving enough to work. So there was a study from Working Families found that 43% of parents in the UK experience this guilt about not being able to spend enough time with their children, while others feel guilty not dedicating enough time to their careers. So it's always a conundrum. So you have to make sure that you get rid of that guilt. When you're at work, be present at work. Get on with the job. Don't be thinking about home. And then when you're at home, then you're thinking about work. When you're at home, be present with your children, be present with your family. Make sure you look after your family. Make sure you do everything that you're supposed to be doing, and then don't worry about work. When you go back to work, I know it's not easy in some professions, like the nurses, and sometimes you can't carry that burden with you. Midwives, like for example, they help people to give birth, and then they come back home with all that load. If you want to get rid of that, please just try and separate it. It's not that easy, but it can be done. Impact on mental health. A survey from the CIPD 2020 found that 50% of parents experience a decline in their mental health after having children, with the pressures of work and parenting intensifying feelings of stress, anxiety, and even depression. If you're a parent watching this or listening to this, you know how hard it is when you have a baby or a new child. Even the ones who adopt kids, like when you get that new responsibility, it can be overwhelming. Just try and manage. There are different coping mechanisms that will come up with. And then burnout. Burnout is a huge issue. Parents report exhaustion both physically and mentally, leading to absenteeism, lack of focus, and even job dissatisfaction. This can eventually result in poor performance and disengagement. So you have to really be careful with this. if you're in the workplace. Make sure you take your holidays on time. Don't burn out. Like when you're banking all your holidays so that you want to go to Africa or you want to go to wherever, that can lead to burnout because you've been working quite a lot, balancing home life and all that. So it's very important to take your holidays. Why am I talking? I'm talking like this as a health and safety specialist with my experience of over a decade. I can tell you categorically that it's very important to take those breaks, to use up that annual leave, because if you need it, take it, because it will help with that burnout. You don't want to burn out and then go off sick or whatever, so you don't really want that. What you need to do is to make sure that you take those leave days. Most companies give about 25 days, 20 days a year, depending on how long you've been in the company. So if you've been there for like over 5 years, you probably get a different sort of annual leave. But make sure that you use your annual leave days so that you stay healthy and also live on time. Give work your full self when you're at work, and get your stuff done, all the tasks done. And then afterwards, when you go to work, switch off that laptop, switch off that work phone, and just be present at home with your kids. So for me, that's what I do. Like when I'm working, I am at work, I focus on work. When I go home, I don't open my laptop unless I am working from home. Then I'll do, or if I have like a project that is really pressing and I want to get it done, then I'll do that like in the night when everyone is sleeping. But I'm trying as much as possible to make sure that I have work-life balance. So how does workplace culture influence the mental health of parents within the UK? Stay tuned, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We're coming back. So a workplace culture can really influence the parents' mental health. Companies have different cultures. It all depends on the values that you follow. In health and safety, we say culture is the way we do things around here. So different companies have different cultures. Some organizations take health and safety at the top. If health and safety is priority in your organization, that organization will most likely have very good policies. It's not just talk, or it's not just policies that are being written and just kept on the drive or just printed and put on the notice boards. No. The ability to adjust working hours or work from home is a huge factor. A 2021 study in business in the community found that 73% of working parents said flexible working arrangements could positively impact their mental health and help them balance work and family life more efficiently. When you find companies that are quite flexible, for example, these days there is hybrid working, few days working from home, few days going on site, that helps with balancing those responsibilities. And then also the stigma around mental health. Despite improvements, mental health remains a taboo subject in many workplaces. A report by Mind 2020 indicated that many parents feel they can't be open about their mental health struggles for fear of discrimination or being perceived as less competent in their roles or being perceived as weak. So what most people do, they just keep quiet or they just, carry on or soldier on instead of talking to their managers or talking to their employers. If you're a manager, there are some courses out there to make sure that they are able to spot the signs of, mental health, stress, depression, when someone is going through that, so that you can easily spot that, because it's really important. If you're an employee, make sure that you're able to speak to your manager. We also now have mental health first aiders. These are the people that you can talk to. If your manager is not someone that you can talk to, because people are different. Parental leave policies. Research shows that many parents feel that the statutory maternity and paternity leave offered in the UK is inadequate. Parents often return to work feeling underprepared, exhausted, or overwhelmed, which can impact their mental health. Extending paid leave or offering more flexible return to work options could ease this burden. So in the UK, you, as a mother who's had a child, you are allowed 9 months, even allowed up to a year if you can afford it. But most people can't afford the year. If you meet the requirement for the policies, if you've been in the organization long enough to qualify to be eligible for maternity pay, they'll pay you full pay. Most organizations will pay you full pay up to 6 months. So from the 6 months to 9 months, then you get the statutory maternity pay. So your job will still be safe and you'll be able to go back to work. The other point that brings stress is the motherhood penalty is also a significant issue. Studies by the Equality and Human Rights Commission 2019 revealed that mothers are more likely to face work discrimination after returning from maternity leave, including being passed over for promotions or receiving lower pay than their male counterparts. This can lead to feelings of frustration and low self-esteem, contributing to mental health issues. So if you have an organization in the UK and you have a mother who's just returned, you have to do the return risk assessment. You have to make sure that you're catering for if they are breastfeeding, if they are pumping. You have to make sure that you're providing a room for them where they are able to do all those things to pump. If they are pumping, like they're breastfeeding, provide those facilities for them. So some organizations actually do that. So provide flexible working options for your employees. They could do remote work, they could do compressed week, whereby they can do, for example, I know in nursing, they can do like 3 long days instead of doing 5 short days. Also, there's hybrid working whereby someone can do working from home some days. Different people can do remote work. Like I've said, those are options that can be put within your workplace or within your team. There are also well-being programs. These are some of the things that you can do to support parents in the workplace. Employees with flexible working arrangements are more likely to report higher job satisfaction and lower stress levels. You see someone staying in an organization for 10 years, 15 years, and you're like, why are they staying in one place for that long? It's because it suits their family life balance. It's flexible enough. The other support that can be provided to parents is well-being programs. So make sure that you check with your HR. So HR teams will know. Most times they'll advertise these things anyway. So make sure that you're paying attention. You're reading your emails that they've sent to you. They are sending out communications. Make sure that you read them. And they provide mental health resources such as employee assistance programs, counseling services. There is lots of information and some people just don't know this information. So if you're a parent out there and you're struggling with flexibility, find out from HR, find out from your manager. Those things are most likely there. Whatever. So depending on what job that you're doing. So if your job is, for example, manufacturing and you're supposed to be in the workshop, that is just that. Really, you can't work from home when you're supposed to be in the workshop. That's different. So for example, a nurse and you're not doing admin work, you're doing patient care. There is no way you're going to be having a working from home day when you're supposed to be with the patient. So that's different. So that some types of jobs you're going to be required to just go in because that's just the nature of the job. You're working in a factory, for instance. But then there could be things like the start time. Maybe you could start at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock so that you can drop the kids at school. So things like that, ask and find out. Just make sure that don't feel afraid. As maybe you're working on a construction site, you start at a certain time and now you have a dentist appointment for the child or whatever, then maybe it's in the evening. So you have maybe to start a bit earlier so that you can leave a little bit earlier to take the child to the appointment. There are things, talk to your managers. I'm sure people will be able to. There is flexibility if you ask. And also when you're at work, make sure you're doing your job properly. Increasing the length and pay of parental leave can give parents the time to properly adjust to life with a newborn, reducing financial stress and providing space to care for their own mental health. The UK has one of the lowest parental leave rates in Europe, and improving this would directly impact the mental well-being of parents. So that's for the government. Yeah, so what role do colleagues play in supporting the mental health of parents or each other? Well, employers have a direct responsibility to support their staff. Colleagues can also create a supportive environment. And how? How can they do that? Well, they can be empathetic and understanding for starters. Small gestures, checking on your colleague who's juggling work responsibility and family, offering an understanding ear. Like, for example, if you know that your colleague is going through a thing, just talking to them about it actually makes a difference. And also remembering to ask them, for example, you're working with someone and they are going through something. For example, they've been off, then they come back. If they are comfortable enough to talk to you about that thing, I think it would be good for you to ask them, like, the progress. It's like checking in. We call it check-ins. Like, how is that thing? How is it going? Are you okay? Are you getting enough sleep? Or are you, like, for example, maybe someone has gone through a breakup. So talking to them, giving them like encouragement that, it's gonna be fine, and just giving someone a listening ear, just letting them know that you're thinking about them. They could just be that they're just wanting someone to just listen. So give them empathy and understanding. I'm advocating for flexible policies. Colleagues can play an active role in advocating for more family-friendly policies within the workplace. So that stands either with health and safety or HR. HR will do lots of the family-friendly policies. Now that sits with HR in most organizations. So supporting initiatives such as more flexible hours, better maternity and paternity leave, or mental health initiatives benefits everyone in the workplace. Encouraging workplace inclusivity, where both fathers and mothers are equally supported in their parental roles, can have a profound impact on reducing stress. For example, encouraging fathers to take paternity leave or share parental responsibilities can reduce gender inequalities for both parents, and then both parents will feel supported. Or not all companies have the same policies, but there are some government policies which are, cut across the whole UK. So shared parental leave is something that is okayed by the government. How can we ensure that mental health support for parents in the workplace becomes more than just an afterthought? How can we do that? Comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, ding, 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 so you don't miss any of this content. The future is promising because we've seen organizations putting greater focus. They're putting greater focus on work-life balance. So more companies are taking steps to address diversity, inclusion, ensuring that both men and women are supported equally when it comes to parenting responsibilities. This includes eliminating bias against working mothers and encouraging shared parental responsibility, just like I've been saying. Parental leave reform. There's a push for more inclusive and generous parental leave policies, particularly in terms of paternity leave. This will not only benefit mothers, but allow fathers to play a more active role in parenting, promoting shared responsibility and reducing the mental load on mothers. So remember, the mother is the one who has to think about everything almost. And if you're a parent who's just come from Africa or from Bangladesh or from Poland or from US or from whatever country, and you just came to the UK and you did not know that this is a thing, talk to your employers and find out what the policy is. Thanks for joining us on this enlightening conversation about mental health of parents in the UK. And as we've learned today, supporting parents isn't just about policy changes, it's about changing the workplace culture. Learn how to be empathetic, create environments where everyone can thrive, both men and women. If you're a parent, remember that your mental health matters and don't be afraid to speak up. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, and thank you for sharing our content. Please make sure that you share, you like, you subscribe, and also come back again. See you soon. Bye-bye. If you found this episode helpful, please do us a favor and subscribe, share, leave a comment, again.